So I was born and raised and educated in San Diego, California. My BA is in psychology. I ended up going to culinary school and worked in the culinary field for pretty much most of my career. I ended up opening a bakery here in Las Vegas. I had been working here probably for 5 years at the Four Seasons at the Culinary Union, and decided to open my own bakery. And so I had that for 7 years. And so I got a taste of what it's like to be a small business owner, have employees, contribute to my community. It was really rough, but it was a lot of work. I did it, and now I survived. And then I ended up selling my bakery in 2019, right before the pandemic hit. So on one hand, I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for all my fellow business owners. So I commend everybody that was able to maintain their business and keep at it. And and then after I sold my bakery, I ended up becoming a medical sales rep. And so now that's what I do. I work for a large medical device rental company. So I actually got to see a lot of the solutions that our company gave to the medical community here in Las Vegas, because we rent out ventilators, which is a big deal. They had a huge shortage at all of our facilities here, so I got to see a lot of the solutions that we were able to provide here in Nevada.
Nice work. Now, you're a candidate for Assemblywoman District 35 now. What do you see as a major issue facing our school district in public education?
Well, what I see is that there's only one school psychologist per two-ish schools. So I remember growing up, I'm pretty sure that we had a school psychologist on campus, but they're having to split their time. And it was a problem before when I ran in 2018, but now it seems like COVID kind of created another aspect of mental health issues for our children, and just not being able to socialize, and being depressed because they aren't able to socialize. And I kind of see that in my friends' children's lives. My daughter actually doesn't go to public school here. She goes to private school, but I know that it was a big challenge for parents in having to go back to work, but then their kids not being able to go to school. And so it created a lot of just uncertainty, and I think our kids growing up need stability, and
Absolutely.
so they need a lot of continuance in their lives in every aspect besides family and education. And for a lot of kids that don't have stability at home, school is kind of their safe space. So the problems that we're seeing with fights breaking out in various high schools, it can be a scary place.
Yeah, and that was my other question too. With the incident that happened recently in Desert Oasis last week, how can we improve the safety of the kids in school?
Well, just in my opinion, if we could start at the base of the problem, is the psychology behind that, and like I said, just creating more civility in just kids' emotions. And if they have that solid basis, then we wouldn't have these problems. Right now, it's like we're kind of putting a Band-Aid on things by having, I don't even know, I'm assuming the police showed up, I'm not sure, but things like having law enforcement have to take over is a reaction. And I'd rather that we're proactive as parents in instilling good values into our kids, and problem solving at a higher level and not at a physical level.
Yes, I agree with you.
We're seeing co-ops popping up in different areas where a group of parents will homeschool their kids, and maybe they don't do it full time, but each parent kind of takes over. So if the funding could help keep those schools intact. And then I know there's a misconception with the public schools not getting enough funding because some of the funds are leaving, but they basically get, once a child is taken out of a public school, there's still the city and county taxes that remain at the school. So it's almost like they're getting free money without a body, and it would alleviate a lot of the overcrowding that we're seeing in the classrooms as well.
Do you see a difference in a lot of people moving here to Las Vegas from other states and it overpopulating the schools?
I hear about it. Like I said, like most of my friends talk about how many kids are in their 7th graders class, and to me, a bunch of rowdy 7th graders, 40 kids to one teacher. I know that, that's got to be really hard. Right after I graduated college, I actually did a teaching credential program in San Diego. So I did a year of substitute teaching. So I did see the challenges behind having just an immense number of kids to one teacher. My daughter goes to a Chinese bilingual speaking a Mandarin school in off Jones and Oki, so it's like way out of my district, and I have to drive 30 minutes each way. So I'm in my car for 2 hours just getting her to and from school. But it's just the difference. It's worth it. She's learning, she's in 4th grade now, and she's doing 7th grade math, and because there's only 5 kids per student. I know that's not practical for the general population, and but I am an advocate because I can see the value that other parents could have in having their kid enrolled in a different school, whether it's a bilingual school or a religious school or something like that.
Okay. Trying to think of any other questions here. Let's see, because Vincent also told me to ask you also, would you be able to, gentleman's name is Johnny, and he's on podcast and Rumble, and he would like to see if you would be able to speak on his podcast show.
What kind of podcast? I guess I'd have to figure out what kind of podcast before I say yes or no.
I know, he's a local, and he'll send you the information.
Okay.
He does a lot of interviews with a lot of the candidates that I've seen, because I recently signed up for his Rumble. I'm not really on podcasts all that much. More on Rumble, but I've seen a lot. But great, thank you so much.